In this video, we're going to talk about fractions. Okay, an example of a fraction is something such as a 1/2, where the top number is called a numerator and the bottom number is called a denominator, and it's split in the middle by a fraction bar. Okay. Now, top numerator, bottom denominator, with a line in the middle is called a fraction bar. Now we have several types of fractions. Let's talk about them. First example, the one I already showed you, 1/2 is a proper fraction. But we can also have 3/2. This is an improper fraction. And we also have 1 1/2, and we call this a mixed number. Okay, now we're going to learn how to change from improper to mixed number, and from mixed number to improper. Example will be, if you have the 3/2, I want you to change that improper fraction to a mixed number. How we're going to do that? We're going to use long division. So I'm going to say 2 divided into 3. 2 into 3 is 1. 1 times 2, 2. Subtract, remainder 1. So how do we write that down? Well, the remainder will always go on the top, the fraction bar. The denominator stays. How many times it goes evenly? The whole part of the mixed number. So you have 1 1/2. Now we're going to go from a from a mixed number to an improper fraction. Improper fraction. Okay, fraction. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we're simply going to do a multiplication and an addition. We're going to say 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 3 over 2. The denominator stays. Let's look at another example of that. So let's say we have 5/2, and I want to change that improper fraction to a mixed number. I am going to do long division. 2 into 5. How many times 2 fit into 5? 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract that, gives you 1. So my remainder goes in the top. My denominator stays. How many times it goes in evenly is the whole portion of the fraction. Well, let's say I am going to now change a mixed number to an improper fraction. So I'm going to say 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14, divided by 3. So I said 3 times 4 plus 2. And that equals to 14 over 3. Okay? This is this answer, and this is this answer. So we talked about the 3 types of fractions that we have. We're going to be working on with proper, improper, and mixed numbers. Now, let's talk a little bit more about things that we're going to be practicing with fractions. examples. I give you 4 over 12 and 6 over 15. And I want to know if these two fractions are less than or greater than. So which fraction, let's say, which fraction is larger or which fraction is smaller? Well, the easiest way to do this is to simplify the fractions into decimals. But why would we want to do that? We don't want to work with decimals when we're dealing with fractions. Well, why don't we find the least common denominator between 12 and 15? That way, it will help us determine using the numbers on the top, the numerators. So whichever numerator is larger will be the fraction that is larger. So I'm going to say 12 times 15. I might not have space there, so I'm going to erase it and do it somewhere else. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to put 15 in the top. Much easier. Same thing, but, 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1, 3. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. I'm going to add, bring down my 0. This gives me 8 and 1. So 180. So what I'm going to do next, now that I know that my denominator is 180, write it like this, 180. And this in the middle is just a space, so you can put if it's less than or greater than. I'm going to multiply this 6 by 12, and this 4 by 15. So 6 times 12, I believe is 72. And 4 times 15, I believe is 60. So if you look at both of your numerators, which is larger? Well, the 72. So larger. Always with the signs. If you get confused, to know which way to put it. Think about it like this. They said the alligator eats the mouth of the alligator eats it, or something that someone told me one day is you think about it, put a little dot at the end of it. Well, there are more dots this way, so this is greater. Less dots here, so this is less. So 60 over 180 is less than 72 over 180. And let's see what else we can talk about with fractions. We can say, let's talk about simplifying fractions. Okay? So let's say I give you, well, those two were good fractions. Let's say I give you 4 over 12. Well, 4 over 12, and I ask you to simplify 4 over 12. What I'm asking you, I want you to reduce 4 over 12 to a smaller fraction. And you want to reduce it by using the factors of 4 over 12. You want to use a number that 4 and 12 both divide by evenly. Okay? In this case, we're going to use 4. Because 4 divides by 4 and 12 divides by 4. 4 into 4 is 1. 12 into 4 is 3. Now 1/3 cannot reduce no more. So that will be your answer. Let's say I said 6 over 15. Well, both numbers divide by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So this is simplified. So if I ask you to simplify a fraction, this will be what you do. Let's see. Let's talk about adding and subtracting fractions. Okay, oops. Let's erase this again. Okay, so if I have 7 over 11 plus 4 over 11, and I told you to add them. Well, the key thing about fractions is that in order to add them or subtract them, the denominator has to be the same. Well, in this case, is my denominator the same? Yes. So you can simply rewrite your denominator and add the numerators. In this case, this will be 11. 7 plus 4 is 11. Then we can simplify. Think about it. A whole divided by a whole number divided by a whole number is 1. So 11 divided by 11 is 1. So that was an easy one. Well, let's say if we were to be subtracting 7 over 11 minus 4 over 11. Well, the denominator is the same. And then I have 7 minus 4 gives me 3. So this will be 3 over 11 because that does not subtract. That does not simplify. Okay? So the key thing about fractions is that as long as the denominator is the same, you are able to add. So